Forgotten Mists of Bridlewood, Chapter 14, Something to Prove. Sunny gave a short stretch from the driver's seat of the Scouticus. The vehicle continued steadily south, pulling a trailer full of books back to Maritime Bay. The last rays of the sun were shining through the passenger side window, and the snow was beginning to give way to the Arctic tundra. She quickly glanced behind her, seeing all the occupants either asleep or trying to sleep. Her passenger for the next hour before Sprout took over was Sunset. The unicorn sat in the passenger seat, buckled in, and flipping the pages of a leather-bound book she had pulled out of her saddlebags. It had a golden version of her cutie mark engraved on the front cover.
Hey, Sunset? I have a question, and I hope you don't take it the wrong way.
Sunny said.
No worries, Sunny. Ask away.
Sunset replied, as she glanced up from her yearbook.
When you came back through the mirror for the first time to take Princess Twilight's crown, why did you go back? Why didn't you put it on then and there?
Sunny asked, remembering the story of how Sunset had gone back through the portal to gather followers to bring back through to Equestria. Sunset thought about it for a moment. She took a quiet breath as she carefully went back in her mind to her thought processes way back then.
I suppose because it wasn't about just having it. That wasn't enough. I had something to prove. I had to show Princess Celestia that it was rightfully mine in the first place. That she had made a mistake in expelling me and choosing Twilight as a successor. Stealing it wasn't enough, and it would have proved nothing more than me being a capable thief. When Twilight became an alicorn, I believed that she had usurped a position that had belonged to me. I never believed Celestia when she told me that I wasn't ready for the darker aspects of magic that I so desperately wanted to begin researching. It was so bad that I'd started going against her wishes. When I was caught, I was expelled on the night I crossed over the first time.
Sunny listened intently as Sunset paused to gather more of her thoughts.
I was just angry. Back then, I honestly believed that everything I'd earned had been stolen. I hadn't realistically thought the whole thing through. If I had made a clean getaway and returned with my teenage army, what then? They weren't going to automatically be able to adapt to their equine forms. I was just laser focused on proving to Celestia that I could command the respect of others. That's all a moot point, of course. When I did put it on, it pulled all of the darkness inside to the surface. And I finally realized why Celestia was keeping it from me. You need a very clear and guarded mind when you deal with things like that.
Sunset flipped back a few pages to her junior year fall formal, bringing back the memories a bit more vividly. Her shoulder blades tingled in response.
So, how did it affect you?
Sunny asked.
The 3 or 4 minutes of my dark transformation into a she-demon? Well, I want to say the worst of it was the burns on my shoulder blades that didn't heal for a few weeks. But that was just the physical toll. The emotional toll was worse.
Sunset glanced over at Sunny, who was renewing her focus on the road. They both looked behind them when they noticed Sprout begin to stir, and quietly sit up in his sleeping bag to avoid disturbing the others.
I guess that's my cue. I've got to stretch anyway. Been sitting here for over 5 hours.
Sunny said. She let off the throttle and let the Scouticus come to a slow, smooth stop before setting the brakes. With that, she hopped out to get some fresh, if chilly air, and Sunset did the same, returning her yearbook to her right saddlebag before walking around the front of the vehicle over to Sunny.
So, Sunny, is there a particular reason for those questions? You sound worried about something.
Sunset told her. The Earthmare took a breath.
If some pony as experienced as you tripped up with unfamiliar magic with all of your experience, what chance do Earth ponies have? Our magic is brand new. That means no books to consult, no teachers with prior experience to guide us. It's exciting, and at the same time, pretty scary.
Sunny admitted. Sunset put a hoof around her shoulder.
I'd honestly say that's an excellent mindset to have. Cautious optimism. Taking it slow and steady is a good idea, but eventually Earth ponies will have to start pushing themselves to learn their limits, and what they're capable of. Having books to fall on is nice, but honestly, Sunny, that security doesn't even begin to compare to being magical pioneers. To write the first books yourselves. It's scary, but you have no idea how much I envy you all right now.
Sunset told her. Sunny managed a small smile.
thanks, Sunset. Say, do you think I could stay with you a while in Bridlewood? I'd love to see some of your classes, and it's been a bit since I've seen Izzy.
Sunny asked.
You can absolutely stay as long as you like, Sunny. I wonder how Izzy's vehicle project is coming along, too.
Sunset replied. A couple of Sunset students had gone out to stretch their legs and take bathroom breaks before they got back in the vehicle for another several hours. By the time every pony was ready to go, Sprout was in the driver's seat with a cup of coffee.
Ready to go when every pony else is,
he announced.
Alright, back to it, I suppose,
Sunny said. Once they were on board, they headed back to their sleeping bags, while Zip took the passenger seat to keep Sprout company for the night drive.
Well, hope I can get to sleep now,
Sunny commented.
Why wouldn't you be able to?
Sunset asked.
Because now you've gotten me thinking up titles for the first books about Earth Pony magic. Oh, good thing Rainbow isn't here,
Sunset thought to herself.
She'd come up with some lewd ones.
Chapter 15, Unicycled. Sunset was the last one of the Bridlewood drop-offs to disembark from the Scouticus. She turned back to Sprout, still in the driver's seat.
Alright, thanks, Sprout. You and Zip have a safe trip back to Maritime Bay, alright?
She said, smiling up at the Earth Pony.
Thanks, Sunset. See you soon,
Sprout replied, before Sunset closed the passenger door. She turned back to Sunny and her students as the vehicle pulled away and continued south over the rolling hills. The sun continued towards the horizon as the early afternoon continued on.
Alright, class. Congratulations on a successful and safe trip. The rest of the day is yours, and I'll see you in class tomorrow,
she told them. Onyx, Jasper, Bongo, and Misty nodded at her with smiles, before turning and galloping into the forest. They were likely eager to get back to their friends and classmates to tell them all about their trip, leaving Sunny and Sunset at the tree line.
Well, I'm not sure what you have in mind for the rest of the day, but I'd love to see what you've done to the tea room,
Sunny told the unicorn.
Well, I'd be happy to give you the dime tour, if you think your stomach will be good until dinner,
Sunset told her, as they started to walk into the forest, far behind the students. The two of them didn't get far before they saw almost all of their group looking at something next to Izzy's house.
Pretty cool, huh? If any pony needs anything unicycled, please don't hesitate to give me a call or come on by.
Sunny and Sunset made their way through the small crowd, and saw that Izzy had completed her project in just a few short days. What had been a rusty, muddy scooter mere days ago was now completely renewed and restored into something quite impressive. Izzy saw that her best friend and teacher had arrived, so she decided to immediately restart her presentation.
Presenting Izzy does it! It's.
She announced, repeating it several times in a mock echo. The two most drastic changes were the fresh coat of paint and the box that had been attached to the back, where she had painted her cutie mark with flower patterns almost everywhere else across the silver, teal, and fuchsia paint job.
My unicycling carts, my trailer of treasures, my wagon of whimsy, my carriage of creativity,
Sunny guessed, as Izzy opened the side of the trailer, revealing all kinds of compartments and hideaways.
Boom zing, you got it,
Izzy affirmed.
Wow, a complete restoration like this? In just under a week. Wow, color me impressed,
Sunset told her assistant.
Just tell me what color impressed is to you and you got it,
Izzy replied, getting chuckles from the group in response.
Usually ponies had to come to me for the unicycling needs, but with this, I can be a lot more mobile. And if I need to bring something back to my place, I can get it there and bring that back much faster.
Sunset silently hoped that Izzy would stay away from her guitar. She knew plenty of musicians who absolutely covered their instruments in stickers and paints, but she preferred the clean look of the sunburst paint job of her Flying V.
Well, Sunny?
Sunset began, as she and the other students turned to head farther into Bridlewood.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but do you think you might want to give us a demonstration of Earth Pony magic while you're here?
Sunny's smile widened, as did her eyes at the prospect.
Well, if you can give me a secluded spot to practice for a few days, I'd be happy to see what I can come up with.
Dude, imagine having that kind of magic in Africa. Bro, you'd never even starve. Anywho, let's get on to our glamorous donators. Top donators: Jessie Smith, Star630, BadassWaffle, Onlyonething, Ceru, Orion, and Caladis. Magic, Jock, Rayden, Runescythe, Will, Twinkie, Luigi, Chancellor, Crust, Big Smoke, Murder Princess, Little Mighty, Solar Symphony, and many more amazing people. Thank you all so much for watching this video and live life to the fullest.